Hello everyone, my name is LaPrecious and welcome to my channel. Let's talk with LaPrecious. So today I will be talking to you all about finally being comfortable in my own skin and what I'm willing to do for myself to make my life better. So some of you may know, some of you may not know, but I've dealt with depression for the past, I'm 23 now. I want to say I've dealt with depression and anxiety on and off ever since I was 15 years old. It first started when I had my first relationship, and the breakup that we had was really, really bad. And it left me depressed for about 5 years after the fact. And then not only did that depress me, but being a teenager, an overweight teenager at that, trying to fit in, trying to be comfortable in my own skin, then having my family not really accept me nor understand me at home, and then trying to get that love and acceptance from people at school. It was just a really tough time for me coming up. And then as an adult, I want to say that as an adult, it has gotten better because I have a little bit more freedom as an adult than I did as a teenager because I have been able to experiment with makeup and hair and nails and clothes. I have been able to go out a little further from the house than I used to when I was younger. So I'm finally getting out there and, stretching my wings and flying on my own from time to time. But I want to say now at this age, the depression is starting to get really bad. Like lately, there have been times where I've been so depressed where I felt like I needed to be on drugs just to not feel anything. And that depression is coming from me not having any friends. We live in a day and age where people are just so numb and so nonchalant about other people's feelings and other people's needs and other people's emotions and whatnot. And of course, we live in a world where they preach you can't make other people responsible for your happiness, you can't make other people responsible for how you feel. But we're human. Humans need human interaction. Humans need love, humans need compassion, humans need companionship. Humans need all of that. God didn't put us here for us to be alone. It even says in the Bible, let not man be alone. Because if God wanted man to be alone, there would be much of man left, and the only man that would have been was Adam. So this whole attitude that people have nowadays that you don't need friends and you shouldn't have friends, that not having friends is okay and not having a man is okay. No, it's not. It's not, because you need those social skills to keep your mind moving, to keep your mouth moving, to keep you informed and progressive and challenged. And that's how you sustain life, because they say what you don't use, you lose. And it's the same thing with your motor skills. If you don't use what you know, what you learn, and what God has put in you to share with other people, you're going to diminish yourself to the point where you could kill yourself. Because in this point in time, we're living in, and I'm not going to make the world sound like it's such a bad place to live in, because it's not all bad. We have a lot of good going on in the world, but a lot of bad. But I mean, you have to be honest about the world that we live in. People are mean. And to those of you that aren't Christian may not know that we're living in the last days, which is why people are so mean, because it's a sign from God that Jesus is on his way back to not only destroy the earth, but to capture those that, died believing in him, or are still living, believing in him, and they're going to go back up into heaven and, with Jesus, and, and then going to live their lives there. But we live in a very mean spirited world nowadays where people don't care about anybody. People don't love anybody. People are all about themselves. People are vindictive and selfish and just real rude and disrespectful. And I'm not sure if a lot of you really understand the type of toll that they can have on somebody. And I'm speaking from my own experiences that I've dealt, and some of you could probably tell this from my past couple of videos, but I've dealt with a lot of hurt and pain in my life. Now, some of that, I will be honest, I did cause that on myself because of the decisions that I made with certain people that I shouldn't have made them with, and just pretty much doing things that weren't to my own benefit. So that's why I did suffer for those things. But other than that, there have been times where I've been nice to people, got my feelings hurt. Shared things with people, got my feelings hurt. Supported people and got my feelings hurt. Was there for people and got my feelings hurt. I've been a good person and a good friend and just the person that I'm supposed to be. And I got little to none of that in return. And that's why it's really hard for me to take in some of this advice that people love to give nowadays about, well, if you want to be blessed, if you want to receive this and receive that, then you got to be happy for somebody else who has it. You got to be there for somebody else who has it. You got to give to somebody else. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, and y'all may not like this, but I really don't see the point of me being there for somebody and supporting somebody else just so that I could get something in return. Now, I'm not saying that I never cheer anybody on, congratulate somebody, or none of that, because I have. I have congratulated people. I've, given people what they've needed. I've given people good advice and have uplifted them and everything. So I'm not this cold hearted, selfish person that doesn't want anything good to happen to anybody. But all I'm saying is, I just don't see how me giving to somebody while they have something when I'm not even guaranteed to get that in return from them. Because I understand that as a Christian, you are supposed to be nice to people, whether they're nice to you or not. But I just gotten to a point in my life where I'm just real tired of people using me, because it's one thing to be nice and people not to be nice to you back, but it's another thing when you've helped people, you've given to people, you share things with people, you've worked for people and whatnot. And when it comes time for you to get some type of compassion or love or respect or even care, oh, you got to do that on your own. Oh, figure it out on your own. Or I ain't got to help you. I don't need to help you. Help yourself. Google it. And this is the type of stuff that I hear and that I get in my real life, from other people. Now, my life has not been all that bad, and it hasn't been, all guns and meteors and whatnot. But those are the things that I've experienced in my life, and I'm telling you, like, I may not have had a bad life as other people have, but I would not wish this on somebody I didn't like, because the hurt and pain that I've dealt with in my life, it's been painful. And I don't think that anybody would want to walk in my shoes or experience the things that I've experienced to be the person that I am nowadays. And that's why when it comes to role models, people, I'm not really sure how people have role models nowadays, because don't really seem like people do. It's like they copy people and they mimic people, but you don't see a lot of people saying, well, I want to be like such and such because they're strong. I want to be like such and such because they're compassionate and whatnot. It's like people nowadays, they want to be like other people just to get what they have, materialistic wise. And I just don't see nowadays how people can have just role models and whatnot. Because in my opinion, from my life experience, is that you should never strive to be like somebody else, because you really don't know what they had to go through and what they had to do to be the person that they are. Because a lot of these famous people, not even famous people, even some people in our day-to-day lives that we see that are some conquerors and warriors, some of us wouldn't have even lived physically if we even got an ounce of what they had in order for them to be where they're at or to be who they are. So my whole message from this is to just simply be the best you that you can be. Because when it's all said and done, this is your life to live, and this is your life to create and to portray yourself in. Because when this life is over, it's not like we can go to the grocery store, like we pick out fruit or whatnot, or go to a boutique and pick out our favorite clothes. Once this life is over, it's done. Now, as a Christian, I believe that when you die, you stand before God and get judged, and you go to heaven or hell. But once that judgment day comes, you can't jump back down out the sky and recapture your life or try to pick pieces and put apart your life after you done lived it to try to remold a better life than the one you lived before you died. This is it. And so this is something that you have to live to the best of your abilities to be the best that you can be. And so I can honestly say now that as far as me, the reason why I have been so unhappy and so angry and so mad and upset is because I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with where my life is at the moment. I'm not happy with where my body is at the moment. I'm not happy with who I am as a person at the moment. And so that's why now I've just really chosen to be comfortable in my own skin, to like myself and to love myself and to work on me and to continue to be a better me. Because what I've noticed is that people who work on themselves and they perfect their craft, but they also perfect their spirits and they're grateful and they live life to the fullest, those are the people that have an abundant life and a happier life. But the people who just sit and mope and cry and complain and wish they had this and wish they had that, they're the most unhappiest people. And when it comes to me, my problem has been living in the now and moving forward and forgetting all the stuff that's going on in the past. But that's something that's really hard to do because it's just some stuff that you go through that didn't get worked out in the past and it's getting regurgitated back up in your future or even in your present. And those are the things that I'm dealing with because I'll give you a little short story. As growing up, I wasn't allowed to be a kid. You know, I had to go through a lot of correction, a lot of strictness, a lot of no's, do it this way, do it that way. And I wasn't really allowed to express myself. And even as a teenager, it was the same way. And then as an adult, I had those teenage like phases, trying out stuff with my hair and, being promiscuous and doing this and doing that and testing out different religions and faiths and stuff. And that's why a message to the parents out there, and this is just my experience from being a child, it's really not good to try to mold your child's life into what you want it to be when they're young, or to try to hinder them or block them from being young and growing and developing into an adult. Because when you do stuff like that, they hold a lot of resentment towards you from blocking them from the life that they could have had that was beneficial to them. And then you're kind of making them be behind in life because whatever you don't get, and this is the honest truth, whatever you don't get growing up, you will attempt to get it, you will do it, or you'll get it in your adult years. And it'll be something that's very hard for you because by me dealing with this, I've had to be an adult, but also work out some of that stuff from childhood. Like some of those developmental stages that I didn't hit, some of those developmental stages that I missed. And when you miss stuff, I'm telling you, you have to go back and grasp it because we always say that life is precious and life is enduring and life is just so great, such a great thing to have. I don't think a lot of parents really understand that when you hinder your kids and when you're so hard on them and tough and trying to hold them back from any and everything, you cripple them. And that's why when they become adults, it's hard for them to detach. They want to latch on. They want to stay in the house. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to be an adult because when you put them out there into the world, it scares them and it just does something to them. And I've pretty much had to teach myself as an adult how to be an adult and how to do this and how to do that. How to apply to jobs, how to do interviews, how to fix my hair and match up my makeup and whatnot, and clothes and this, that, and the third, how to talk to men, how to have relationships with men. And now I'm learning how to build friendships and how to have a healthy mindset, a healthy body, and how to just keep that going because when you dealt with the depression that I've dealt with from not being accepted and loved the way that you desire, and then you see other people, that don't look like you and don't talk like you and whatnot, get accepted and desired, it makes you feel some type of way, like what's wrong with me? What's going on with me? And then you start slipping into depression, crying and not eating properly, sometimes not sleeping right, and it can just be a really trying time. And I can say from my experience of dealing with depression and anxiety, it's been really trying for me. But as an adult and as a strong woman, I pray, I read my Bible, I talk to my family whenever I can, and I just live life to the fullest and choose to always ask God, how can I do this? How can I do that? Show me this, show me that, so that I can finally live the life that I know that I deserve. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like or dislike, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. Have a good day. Bye.